In 2022, the Texas Department of Transportation announced a record $85 billion for transportation efforts over the next decade. But the state will be spending even more than that on its infrastructure as they push for an insane transformation in the coming years, starting with a massive highway improvement that's been overdue for decades. Number 5. I-45 Highway Improvement Project. Interstate 45 is a key road connection within the state of Texas that extends all the way from the Gulf of Mexico to Dallas, crossing through Galveston and Houston. However, this 285-mile artery has big problems. The highway was finished in 1971 and connects more than 15 million people. As it goes through the urban centers, the congestion becomes a major issue. But on top of that, it is considered one of the most dangerous highways in the state. That's because it sees more fatal accidents than any other freeway in the country. The 54-year-old infrastructure has also failed to keep up with the disastrous weather events in Texas. While it remains a crucial hurricane evacuation route, a weather event may turn the highway into a parking lot with no rapid exit points. With so many flaws to consider, a $13 billion plan was unveiled back in 2019 to fix the chronic problems plaguing the I-45. The plan is to reroute, rebuild, and upgrade the northern part of the I-45 between downtown Houston and Beltway 8. Divided into 3 segments, the improvement plan won't just enhance capacity and mobility, but it will also make the corridor more flooding and hurricane resilient. Construction on the project broke ground in 2024 with Segment 3, which is divided into 8 phases. The goal of this segment is to reconstruct the downtown Houston freeway loop system, optimizing it for a greater flow of traffic and improving storm drainage. Work is underway on excavations next to the pavement to insert water and sewer pipes that will reroute water during heavy rainfall away from the highway to multiple detention ponds across Houston. Once complete, Segment 3 will reroute the I-45 from west to east downtown, aligning it with I-69 and I-10. This will allow for improved traffic flow and a safer evacuation route during storms. Segment 2 involves upgrades to the stretch between I-10 and I-610. This includes a full reconstruction of the I-45 to I-610 interchange, expanded detention pods for flood resilience, and enhancements to bicycle and pedestrian lanes. Construction on Segment 1 may not start until 2035. However, it is planned to improve the Segment 2 connection with Beltway 8. A new overpass, wider bridges, and more highway lanes are planned for this phase. Beginning this year, reshaping of the I-45 infrastructure might keep going for the next 17 years, ending in 2042. According to the Texas Department of Transportation, this will be a game changer for millions of commuters in the region. But not everyone is happy. Based on the demographic map of the city and the planned construction routes, critics believe that the authorities are planning to reroute the highway through low-income and minority neighborhoods. The construction work will lead to the demolition of more than 1,000 homes, close to 100 businesses, and dozens of schools and churches, all for the additional right-of-way. Despite the criticism, work on Segment 3 continues, and public consultation for future segments goes on in the background. From Houston, we go to Austin, where the state's first light rail system is taking shape. Number 4. Project Connect. The capital of Texas is also one of the fastest-growing metro areas in the U.S. But with population growth and industrial investments come the urban problems of traffic congestion, car dependency, and limited transit options. Which is why, in the heart of Austin, one of the state's most ambitious transit builds is underway at a price tag of over $7 billion. Project Connect is an unprecedented public transportation initiative that will reshape commuting in Austin. While construction on Project Connect won't begin until 2027, its story began decades ago when the voters approved the establishment of the Capital Metropolitan Transportation Authority in 1985. Austinites agreed to a 1% sales tax increase to fund it, and today the Cap Metro collects about $400 million in annual revenues. However, while the budget has soared, Metro ridership has stagnated, with multiple light rail proposals failing at the ballot box. One major problem for these failed proposals was the lack of a broader scope. Citizens simply rejected the idea of spending billions to build a light rail in isolation. This underlined the need for a broader scope and a network approach to the problem. So in 2020, voters approved something different. They agreed to an 8.75% increase to the city's property tax rate for a much broader plan, one that will combine 2 new light rail lines with improvements to the bus service, a second commuter train, and an underground tunnel to rid the Austin roads of its vehicle stress. At the heart of it all is a new light rail system. Starting near 38th Street, the system aims to serve more than 80,000 people each day, with 2 branches extending it to the airport and another to the south side. This will be complemented with a bus network redesign that aligns with the new light rail lines. For years after this ambitious plan was unveiled, the excitement among the voters remained high. However, as with any megaproject with such massive scope, Project Connect soon ran into problems, the biggest of which was a cost overrun even before construction began. Just a year into feasibility studies, it was found that building a 27-mile rail will almost double the costs, a problem that caused the previous rail proposals to fail. So in 2023, a significantly scaled-down plan was approved. This one reduced the multiple rail lines to just 1, while the track length was reduced to under 10 miles. However, controversially enough, while the public is getting a much smaller version of what they were promised, the tax hike they agreed to remains in place. For now, Project Connect soldiers on with a planned opening date in 2033. However, lawsuits are piling up, and the future of the project hangs in the balance. While clouds of uncertainty surround Austin's first light rail, Texas has already completed one of the biggest megaprojects in the state's history. Number 3. The Harbor Bridge. In 1959, Texas completed an incredible feat of engineering when they opened the Harbor Bridge over the Corpus Christi Ship Channel. It quickly became an architectural icon and a vehicle of economic growth, serving more than 26,000 vehicles a day at one point. However, at the turn of the century, it became clear that the original Harbor Bridge did not have enough time. The structure was built for a lifespan of 50 years and was left behind in a world where bridges have become more and more extreme. So in 2016, construction broke ground on a 6-lane replacement bridge stretching 500 meters across the Corpus Christi Ship Channel. Bound to be one of the longest cable-stayed bridges in America, it is also the highest structure in South Texas with a height of 538 feet. The new bridge also had a higher clearance than before, allowing the huge modern-day tankers to comfortably sail below it. However, bringing this behemoth to life has been an incredible challenge. It was originally planned to open in 2020, but a 2018 accident changed everything. The original engineering firm, Fig Bridge Engineers, was found to be at fault for the FIU bridge collapse in Miami and were banned from working on any federal projects till 2029. This triggered an immediate removal and a design review of the Harbor Bridge project. Construction finally resumed in 2021, but came to a halt just a year later when another independent review identified 5 key safety concerns that could lead to a collapse. Another year went by as engineers tried to find a fix. In the meantime, the construction budget soared 50%, reaching $1.3 billion. After changes to the bridge's main span and additional steel reinforcements, the new bridge finally opened on June 28, 2025, 5 years behind schedule. But this one has an estimated life of 170 years, over 3 times more than the previous one. As the new bridge lights up, the old Harbor Bridge is all set to be demolished by mid-2026. That is also when Austin plans to open 2 of its tallest skyscrapers ever. Number 2. Waterline. With the city of Austin growing at a rapid rate, there has been a sharp shift from horizontal to dense vertical growth. That is the concept behind Waterline, which is now the tallest skyscraper in Texas. In August this year, Waterline surpassed Houston's Chase Tower when it reached a total height of 1,024 feet or 312 meters. Chase Tower had held the Texas record for more than 4 decades with a height of 305 meters. Waterline also smashed the city record for the tallest building when it surpassed the 865 feet or 624 meters tall 6th and Guadalupe. That mark was set just months earlier when 6th and Guadalupe was completed in January 2025. Soaring in the heart of the capital, this 74-story skyscraper covers 2.7 million square feet of space, roughly the size of 47 football fields. A 45-second elevator ride will give residents access to the top of this mini neighborhood that will have 352 luxury apartment homes, 700,000 square feet of office space, and a 251-room hotel overlooking Waller Creek. The designers behind this project are Kohn Pedersen Fox, an architectural firm known for building incredible skyscrapers, from the Ping An Financial Center in Shenzhen to 55 Hudson Yards and 1 Vanderbilt in New York. KPH brought their expertise to Texas in 2022, and in less than 3 years, Waterline is on the verge of towering above the Austin skyline. The quick completion was made possible by close to 5,000 construction workers who have contributed to the building since 2022. At the height of construction activity, around 875 people were on site each day. Already towering above the Austin skyline, the Waterline will begin opening in phases, starting with the hotel in early fall of next year. Austin is not stopping at Waterline, as the city's skyline is being completely transformed with the completion of its 3rd tallest skyscraper earlier this year. Number 1. The Republic. Over the last few years, Austin has also emerged as a desirable destination for big tech companies. A combination of state and local incentives has attracted giants like Tesla and Samsung to the city. These big tech moves have given way to major new developments across Austin, not least to the city's skyline. In 2025, the rapidly growing city added the Republic to its skyline. At 710 feet tall, the building will become the tallest exclusively office space in the city. The Republic has topped out already and will welcome tenants in the coming weeks as construction nears completion. 50% of the building is already leased out as tenants prepare to move in by the end of the year. This development is also just in time for the boom of Austin's office market, which is projected to grow by 25% over the next 5 years, representing the fastest growth rate on the continent. However, it will not be a typical fast-paced office building, as the designers have tried to keep contact with nature. The Republic is located right next to the Republic Square Park in downtown Austin, with a public plaza directly connecting the two spaces, making it a desirable place to work. From the ground up to the clouds, Texas is in the midst of an insane transformation. But which of these Texas megaprojects has impressed you the most? Comment your thoughts below, and keep following SIGNUM for the craziest megaproject stories from around the world.